Hey everybody, Logan here. Yeah, I'm doing a video that was highly requested. People keep asking me, which one's better? You guys have seen them. I've covered the Gamesir G7 SE and the Gamesir Kaleid Flux. There's also a standard Kaleid, which is just a different color effect, and some tactile buttons over membrane. But people are asking me, which one's better? SE? G7 SE, Flux, Kaleid Flux. Yes, they're both wired. Yes, they both have Hall effect sticks. They both have Hall effect triggers. But they are different. Let's take a closer look, and then I'll give you my opinion at the end. Alright, let's take a closer look. This is the G7 SE. This is the Kaleid Flux. This one lights up. This one does not. This one allows full control over audio via the D-pad. This one does not. This is pure white, with no lights or anything around the rings or anything special fancy. This one has a clear, well, smoked, translucent face, so you can actually see the designs and everything underneath. Otherwise, you're looking at two very similar controllers. If you look at the back, they both have the flappy paddles, or whatever you want to call them, the back buttons. Now, this one does have trigger locks for the paddles, if you want to call it that. It just locks them down so they can't be pressed. So really, that's not that big of a deal. This has an audio mute button at the bottom. This one does not. Tops look very, very similar. Still Type-C, and the sticks are very similar. One thing I have noticed about this one, the G7 SE, if you put stick tops on it, I put Skull & Co. caps on it, and then it changed the color, which really bothered me. That doesn't happen with any of my other controllers, whether they be gray, black, white, what have you, on the sticks, and that's what irked me. This black one does not seem to have that problem. That's the only real big issue I have with this controller. Otherwise, if you're going to ask me which one I would pick, well, I have them both, and I've covered them since day one. I really like the clean white look. The stick issue is the only thing that bothers me. If you're talking about the lights on this one, I do like it. I don't really have a preference of controlling the audio on the controller or not. That doesn't faze me in the slightest. If I had to pick, because this one was $44.99, this one's $46.99, you're going to pay $2 difference. And if you want the standard Kaleid, which is actually $49.99, it's a $3 difference. You've got tactile switches for the buttons instead of membrane. That doesn't do anything for me, and I like the gold. Some people like the silver design. This is the one that I chose. So if you're trying to ask me between Kaleid and Kaleid Flux, I answer that it's the Flux. But between these two, I like this one. I like the Kaleid. Why? Because I like the colors. I do like the feel of this controller. I love that matte to gloss translucent look with the chip underneath being that gold etched. I really like the design. I prefer the black sticks over the gray because of the color wear on this. Otherwise, I think this is still a fantastic controller. I don't think you're going to go wrong with either one. Now, if we're looking at the cables, they're both standard braided cables. This one does have the gold connections to match. This one has silver, standard. This is the black and gold braided. This is just white braided. Otherwise, they still have the same wrap for each. Everything's identical. I like this one because it matches my Halo Xbox. This one will match my Series S, the white one that I do own. So it really depends on what you have. Do you have a white Series S? Okay. Are you planning on getting the new all-digital white Series X? Okay. Do you have the Series X Halo Edition or the black Series S? there you go. Or even a black Series X. This one I think looks a little better. It all depends on your personal preference. But if I had to choose, it's the Flux. I like the colors, I like the design, I like the layout. They're both very similar, but I really just prefer the design of the Flux. I think it's cooler. For the additional $2, I would go with this. Again, the colors, the design, it just gets me over the plain standard blah. Now, if they had one of these with a white design like that, I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't know, white and gold, maybe white and silver, that would look nicer. Maybe white and blue, like a frost blue. Okay, I could see that. But maybe we'll see something down the line. Otherwise, I think, honestly, you're not going to have a problem if you pick up either of these. It's all your personal preference. But to answer those questions, there you go. The Kaleid Flux is my choice over the G7 SE. If you pick up one over the other, you're not going to have that much of a problem. The only thing I've just noticed right now is the screw pattern layout here. Here are the screws right there, so it's easily disassembled. This one does not have any screws on the back, which means if you do want to pop it out or do anything like that, you have to slip the tool in here and then pop it off. It has a cleaner look without the screws, but most people aren't really going to care being able to see the screws. Some people care more because when they can take it apart, it's much easier to mod or to fix or to repair, whatnot. I don't think it really matters. I'll give this, I do like the cleaner look without the screws, but that's really the only thing I can say. Again, if I had to choose, the Kaleid Flux would definitely be the choice. Hopefully this answered all your questions. Everybody who's been asking me on the multiple Gamesir videos I've done, now you know, knowing is half the battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Make sure you turn in every Thursday night, 9 p.m.-ish for Ready to Start podcast. It's a great time. You'll definitely enjoy it. Join us. We're growing. We got some great guests lined up. Hopefully you enjoy that too. But like we always say, God bless you all and be legendary. Thanks again.